I apologize for the lengthy post, but this has been weighing on me for a while now, and am starting to think I should have handled the situation differently. Had to make a throwaway, as people I know are on this sub. All names are fake, and I apologize if my grammar or spelling is bad. I tried to break up big paragraphs as much as possible. So this story starts all the way back in my last year of secondary school, ages 15 to 16 in the UK, where my pretty big friend group of around 12 people fell apart. There are two core fights that I, and some of the others that I'm still friends with, see as the fights that destroyed our group. The first fight was due to my ex-best friend accusing me of faking my relationship. For context, when I was a lot younger, around 8 or so, I met a boy a year above me, whom I ended up having a massive crush on. We shared a friend group, as I was a very rough and tumble kind of girl, think the kind of young girl who curses the color pink, because people have forced the pretty princess idea onto them since they were just babies. That was exactly the kind of girl I was always playing with the boys, because I didn't like behaving the way my family expected young girls to behave, and in a religious school, most of the girls I knew behaved like that. I was never nasty or mean to anyone because of this, though, and actually got along with most of the girls in my classes. I ended up moving to a different city halfway through the year, but a few months before, I had confessed to the boy I had a crush on, let's call him Austin. I would have considered him my closest male friend at the time, and to my greatest joy, he actually said he liked me too, and we dated up until I moved. The day of the move was tough, as my parents hadn't told me that we were moving, and I found out the day of, so I had to say goodbye to all of my dear friends in one day, which, to an 8-year-old, is torture. Telling Austin was the worst, and I still remember to this day how we both cried. Years later, when I was in Year 9, 13 to 14 years old, I had reconnected with some of my old friends from before I moved, and we all became close again pretty quickly. Two of these friends introduced me to someone that I hadn't met before moving, and we got along really well. I was visiting his house to play some board games I had bought, and it evolved into us finding and digging up old embarrassing pictures of ourselves to see who had the worst. When it was the new guy's turn, I recognized Austin in one of the pictures and asked if they were friends. They are cousins, and I just never knew somehow. Well, as I continued getting closer to these friends, I actually met Austin again, and was still very attracted to him. He was tall and now visibly athletic with the cutest curly blonde hair and freckles. Honestly, I thought the feelings would fade as most of my crushes did as a very hormonal teenager, but they didn't. Just like when we were a lot younger, we got along like a house on fire, and after he showed up at my birthday party with a bouquet of peonies, my favorite flower, I had only mentioned a few times when we first dated, and a pretty pricey set of Winsor & Newton paint. I don't remember the exact price, but they can be up to $60. It just felt different. When I went to thank him and his mom for the very generous gifts, she told me that he had paid for both my presents himself, even though she had offered. I had just come out of a pretty crappy relationship that took advantage of my generosity and the money I got from baking for people in the block of flats I lived in. So I was not used to anyone close to my age being that generous with their own money towards me. That same night, I stumbled out a confession that I thought I was attracted to him, and he advised that we give it time for old emotions to settle and be sure that these are current feelings, and not nostalgia, or something similar. Well, a month later, we were dating again, but had very firm rules, absolutely nothing more than innocent kisses until we were both 16. I was 14, and he was 15 at the time, and absolutely no giggity until we were 18. I told my friends at school the week after we got together, because I was so happy for myself, and expected them all to be too. Well, they mostly were, apart from my ex-bestie, David. Now, David thought it would be funny to say something along the lines of, "Oh, you only got out of your last relationship a month ago. How long were you talking to this guy? Were you involved in cheating again? God, you have a messy love life." Now, for context on this issue, I dated two girls, Angie and Lizzie, before the relationship I was in with Austin. Angie and I had a strange relationship, not a bad one, but not your typical romantic relationship. Her family is very homophobic, and wouldn't have been okay with us being together, which caused strain, but after a long conversation, we realized we weren't in love at all. We were incredibly close back then and assumed how we felt must have been romantic, but we were always purely platonic. Both of us admitted that we had noticed we felt strongly towards other people, but hadn't acted on it, as we still loved each other. But, when we weren't even comfortable kissing each other on the cheek, we realized that we were never romantic and were actually very happy to go back to being friends and pursue people we were interested in. A week later, I confessed that I had feelings for another female friend of mine, Lizzie. Now, Lizzie had told me she had been split up from her boyfriend for a month before I asked, and if I knew she hadn't, I would have never even confessed. Well, Lizzie treated me horribly, made me miserable, made me hate my own body, and would put me in situations that I felt were too adult for us, given we were only teenagers. I later found out that she had also been cheating on me with a close friend that she had told that we had broken up, and also a 10-year-old. Yeah, it was incredibly messy, and I honestly hated talking about it at the time. I felt like such an idiot for not noticing all the red flags until I was so vulnerable that it took a toll so hard on my mental health that I'm still in therapy recovering from it. This was then directly followed by my friends at the time, different from the other friend group that I joined after this, all abandoning me and taking her side, even though I had texts saved from her calling me useless, a homewrecker, and even a slur for disabled people, autistic. I know this means that, technically, I have been involved in cheating by some people's standards, but I prefer not to look at it that way, as it makes me feel guilty, and I have done everything I can to not even slightly be involved in cheating ever, as frankly, it is disgusting. All of my friends are aware of what happened and know I hate talking about it. So when David brought it up and also, in my opinion, accused me of cheating, I was upset. In that moment, I bit my tongue and just continued answering questions about Austin and me, but it left a real bitter taste in my mouth. Later that evening, while I was on a call with Austin, he noticed I was off, so I told him what happened. He then told me that what David had done was not okay at all and asked if he always trampled over my feelings and boundaries so confidently in front of all our friends. I defended David as he was my bestie at the time, and I didn't see anything wrong with him making a joke, even if it upset me, and Austin said, "Well, if you say so, just don't make me meet him while he talks to you like that." I can't promise I won't start a messy argument, because I don't think what he did was okay at all. But we left the conversation there. In the upcoming months, I was arranging a bowling trip with Austin's help to celebrate the end of mock exam season. As the bowling alley we had booked with allows up to 10 people to come in each reservation, Austin asked if I wanted to invite some of my friends so they could meet him, as most of his friends were busy with their own stuff. I happily accepted the offer, but he stated that unless David had apologized for what he said, he would not be welcome coming out on a fun time on our dime when he had insulted me. I didn't argue and invited the friends I wanted there privately, as I was worried that it would upset David, being blatantly left out if I asked in the group chat. Well, one of those friends mentioned it in the group chat, and David was so mad at me. He called me a bitch and said I was just being petty because I got offended over someone finally calling my messes out. I told him it was actually Austin who wasn't okay with him being there, and this was exactly why. He then accused me of lying about Austin's entire existence. This is a near exact quote of what he had said. I got one of my friends to dig up old chats where I was venting to her about it. Do you really think that any of us believe that your mystery boy is real? You're pathetic, so bloody pathetic. We all have been biting our tongues cause we know you're lonely and hate being alone like a damn child, but enough is enough. You refusing to let me meet him is just proof that he isn't real, so stop rubbing your fake relationship in our face. Honestly, it's super disturbing, and we get that you are mentally ill, but that is no excuse to lie like this." I was in shock, and before anyone could respond, he cussed me out a few more times and left the group chat. Well, my friends all took my side, which caused David to give me a very forced apology, but he didn't come on the bowling trip, as I was still mad at him. Well, even up until I cut contact with David, he would periodically make jokes that Austin didn't exist, despite the fact that most of the group had met him. I told him that these jokes made me uncomfortable, but he never listened, and for some reason I forgave him. The other reason, and the second major fight, happened around David's birthday in our final year of secondary school, ages 15 to 16, around a trip to a museum in London. I hate London. It is loud, scary and stressful to me, so I hate going there even with company. There was a school trip to London, which was going on for the art course people, and originally I wasn't going to go. When I told David this, he acted shocked and insisted I come. I remember specifically that he said that he had already paid and handed the paperwork in, so I wouldn't be without any of my friends on the trip. I reluctantly agreed to go. Well, I found out the day before the trip that he wasn't going, and no one else I was friends with was going on the trip either, which is exactly what I was trying to avoid. I messaged him asking why on earth he backed out last minute. Initially, I was worried that something had happened. Well, I know nothing did happen, as my mum asked his mum while they were dropping off our younger siblings at their school, and she said that he was never going because he said he didn't want to. I confirmed this with our art teacher, as I was dropped off at the train station early for the trip, and she said he had never handed over any money or paperwork, so they don't even have a ticket for him. Now I was really upset at this, not just because I was going to be stuck on a school trip to a place that triggers my anxiety without any friends, but because he lied to my face, even though he hated the idea of me lying. I messaged him that night, asking what the hell he was trying to do, and he blocked me. The next morning, he unblocked me and blew up in our group chat, cussing me out for bringing up a fight the day before his birthday. Everyone in that chat was confused, as I hadn't told anyone what happened yet, and it seemed he hadn't either, so when one of our friends asked what the hell was happening, I sent screenshots into the chat. This divided the friend group initially, as a few thought I shouldn't have sent the screenshots into the chat, but once David started throwing a fit, most of our friends sided with me, that he was being a jerk. One of our friends, Millie, confronted him and said, "Why on earth would you lie to her about going on a trip to get her to go? We all know that Op hates London and has major anxiety issues. That is really messed up, man." He responded quickly, saying, "Why should I give a frick? Her instabilities aren't my responsibility." To which one of my other close friends, Elara, responded, "It kind of is your responsibility if you triggered her on purpose and lied to her like a bully." In response, he left the group chat permanently and refused to talk to me for the 4 months leading up to our GCSEs, and if anyone asked why he wasn't hanging out with us anymore, he openly blamed me. At the time, I personally believed he hated me for whatever reason, and used this fight to scapegoat me and give him a valid excuse to abandon the group, but it still destroyed me. If it wasn't for some of our friends sticking by me, I'm not sure if I would have got myself together enough to pass my exams. This theory I had was later confirmed by Millie, who pretended to have cut me off, and David openly admitted it, but they didn't tell me until after exam season, because they were worried they would distract me too much. Fast forward a few years, I'm now in university doing a psychology degree, and our large friend group of 12 has fallen to just me, Mill, Elara, and 2 others who requested to stay out of the story. Turns out David now goes to the same university I go to, and attempted to talk with me at one of the debate society meetings. I ignored him as best I could, and when he physically grabbed my arm to get my attention, I said very calmly, "I am uncomfortable being touched by people who aren't my friends, let go." He hesitated but backed off until later, when he came over to the table I was eating my lunch during the break, and he asked to sit and talk. I said he could stand and talk, as I can't see myself wanting to spend much time around him. He basically said that he wanted back into the friend group because he missed everyone. I didn't believe him and asked if the only reason he wanted to come back was that his college buddies he was so eager to make without us dumped him, and he said that they did, but that wasn't why he wanted to come back. He said that he had tried talking to Alara, but she said he wouldn't be allowed back if I didn't forgive him, as it was me he hurt. I truly love my friends for having my back. So I told him, point blank to his face, that I did not forgive him and that he treated me in ways I couldn't even dream of treating another human being, let alone a friend. He then got all pouty and huffed, waited for about 30 seconds as if waiting for me to take it back, before leaving. As he was walking away, I said, "Hey, I'm sure you'll have good luck without having clingy weirdos weighing you down," which is what he directly told Millie was the reason why he did what he did. Although getting the last word in was cathartic, a lot of people who saw that interaction think I was being overly harsh, and that I should let go of mistakes that were made in the past as people grow, and I should give him a second chance. Some people are also saying that I sound like a controlling person, as in forbidding my friends from being friends with him, apparently. I originally didn't see it that way, but now I'm starting to doubt myself, and one of my other friends recommended posting here to see what people think. I will accept my judgment, no matter how harsh it is. So AITA,